Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting show of the About That Water podcast, where we help you build strong financial habits so that you can be successful and build that confidence and spending money, talking about money, or even dating with money. So that's one of the topics that we're talking about today is how to date in this modern era with these apps and all this fun stuff. But we got to get this going, you guys. So without further ado, let's get this intro and then we're going to kick it off. Let's go. You're listening to the About That Water podcast. We'll be right back after these messages. Oh, that's my short one. I'll be right back. Hold on. Let me find my right one. You're listening to the About That Water podcast. We'll be right back after these messages.
Low credit score dragging you down? Score Boost by Smart Credit helps you maximize your score by showing you exactly how much you need to pay off and by which date to gain the most points. Pay less and gain the most points the fastest. And you can start just for $1. Click the link in the bio, save thousands. Don't wait.
Even the best and the brightest this world has to offer have coaches and mentors. Build strong money-making behaviors by applying financial concepts and strategies with Anthony Weaver on the About That Water Show. It's time to get off the bench and get in the game. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
Welcome. So we have an exciting show today. We have so many people on this panel. I'm actually excited about all of this greatness, and it's a lot of femininity in here, but I'm gonna hold it down for the fellas. It's all right though. We gonna get it in. So I want you all just to kind of give a quick rundown, your name, your at, so people would know where to follow you, and then just kind of quick 1 or 2 sentence spill about what you're all about. So let's go right to the top. Hey, let's go start with Joy. How you doing, Joy?
Hello, everyone. I am Joy, Coffee with Joy Talk Show Podcast. You can find me at Coffee with Joy across everything. Of course, my website, thecoffeewithjoyshow.com. If you would like to be a guest, we're always looking for guests where we normalize the difficult conversation. So excited to see everyone. So excited to hear everyone. Looking forward to your message. Until then, we'd love to have you on our show.
All right. Rayma.
Hi, Rayma Carpenter. I'm a personal and leadership coach. Instagram at Mohawks and Pearls. And I help people to achieve their personal, professional goals. And I look forward because I want to go and have coffee with Joy. So that sounds like fun.
All right. Thanks, Dee.
Hello, I'm Dee Dee Patterson, and I'm a dating and relationship coach. So I've been happily married for 14 years. I love being married. And I met my husband on a dating app. And so I like to leverage dating apps to help women find the love of their life. And the best place to find me is in my Love and Dating Secrets Facebook group. On Instagram, you can find me at Dee Dee Patterson with a 0 because someone took the O in my name. So it's a 0. And you can find me on Instagram too.
All right. Nia.
Hey, Dr. Sev. I'm Nia Adams, the Money Moves Motivator. You can find me at Money Perspectives everywhere. Feel free to like and subscribe on YouTube. I help women overcome money mistakes and transform their spending habits to achieve wealth.
You're very modest. Like, you do so much more.
I don't want to talk forever.
I got you. What's going on, Free?
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Free Green. I'm the CEO and founder of Gage Street Society. We are your financial safe space, helping you develop clarity, confidence as it pertains to your money.
All right. And last but not least, gotta always give you your air horns because you always get on me for not giving you those.
I really like air horns, y'all. They get me hype. I think it's something to do with growing up as a millennial and like the sound we would hear in the club. I am Jay Stevens, founder of Rich Like My Melanin, where we transform complex financial topics into easy and actionable plans. I am going to put it out here very up front. Please don't expect me to be the dating expert. I have a program I teach called No Romance Without Finance, and it teaches principles on how to have healthy money conversations in relationships. But like, don't expect me to tell you how to date, because if I had those answers, like, I'm just putting myself out there today. But I can tell you what to do once you get to the point of, actually wanting to build a good foundation financially for your relationship.
Awesome. And I think that's everybody, right? Sweet. All right. So I really wanted to talk about this topic mostly, and pretty much put this panel together mostly because a lot of people talk about these first dates, and some people are just getting out of the dating game or getting back into the dating game. And this stuff is it's not easy from what I hear. And so my first question is that I put up even on my social media page is, should guys pay on the first date?
I'm going to answer.
Okay.
So I believe that the guy should pay. Even if the woman asks, he should just start off the right foot, where the guy should pay. But I tell the women that I coach that you don't have to order a steak. Be nice, because you probably won't get a second date if you order the highest thing on the menu. So yes, I believe the guy should pay. Don't go Dutch. Let him be like the provider for the first date. Probably like third or fourth date in, the woman can pay back and take him out. But I do believe that guy should pay on the first date.
Anybody else?
So let me add on to that. There's a kind of philosophy that I live by. I'm not a dating coach by no means. I'm just a single woman out here, trying to find my partner and find love. But one of the principles that I kind of just use as a guide is similar to when those folks that are working in corporate America, or when you go to like a team dinner with your work and there is maybe a partner or director or SVP paying for the dinner, you kind of leverage what that person selects. So for example, if they say, hey, I'm about to get the table wine, like, okay, we having wine, right? You kind of use the gentleman or the lady, your significant other person you're going on a date with, as like, what are they getting? Is it salad? Okay, we might do a salad, right? Or are we doing surf and turf? Okay, cool. Let's turn it up then. Do surf and turf, right? So that's kind of how I do it. But then also, I always bring my own cash, because
Smart.
in the event that it's not going how I want it to go, I'm gonna say, check please, pay for my half, and get up out of there. So just some initial thoughts.
All right.
I like it.
Go ahead.
For me, it has always been standard that the guy pays for the first date, but also the guy is typically the one who invites me out for the first date. So it's kind of like that's the person who initiated the date, and it kind of goes along with it. I typically am not the one asking out for the first date. So in my experience, it's always been the guy paying.
Okay. I think my... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you are not a traditional woman, do not try to act like he should be traditional too. I think that is I think about it from the perspective of my boys and how would I want them to interact with people. Now I do want them to be in a position to provide financially, and I do appreciate that. I also think women shouldn't pursue men. Not that there's zero times that you might be, women might not be the one to ask somebody out. Maybe if you do, then I would say expect to pay. I haven't been on a first date in like decades, so because I'm married. But if I asked him to go somewhere, I would do so within my budget, and I would expect to pay.
One of the things,
May I hop in with a few opinions? I was going to be quiet because I feel like this question unnecessarily has the Black community in a chokehold. I don't know why, but like every 3 months we're like, who should pay for the date? And like,
that in the
man, if he doesn't do this, you don't make him his plate. They're like these.
Don't forget the 50-50.
Questions that I just feel like we really can't get past. And I don't know why we think there needs to be this like monolithic, like we all agree this is what needs to get done because no two relationships are right. Having said that, I think the man should pay for the first date, but it also took me time to feel comfortable with what I would accept for a first date. So I know this is going to be ironic. Maybe. I did not think coffee was the first date. I now do. It took me a minute to get there because I've been working in big corporate companies when I was earlier in my dating life. And these companies, we had coffee all the time for free. And we had like coffee for work meetings. So when someone would ask me on a coffee date, for me, it was just automatically make me think of work. That person didn't know that. That was not their fault. It was not their responsibility to deal with like the PTSD from work that I'm carrying where the scent of hazelnut makes me go like, ugh. So I had to realize, and this is why therapy, growth is helpful. I had to realize like coffee is a legitimate first date. It helps you get time to know someone and then get in and out. And because of that, I dated when I was in my early 20s. And because I'm from the South, my family's from the South, and we have this whole notion that you're supposed to be married young. And then I'm glad I didn't get married young. And so I took a long gap from dating. I mean, so long that I'm quite sure I would qualify to be on like one of these reality shows where they dramatically say like, never had a relationship in 10 years. Like that would always be the caption under me whenever I came on screen. So when I finally started putting myself back out there and dating and working on like, this is black only dating. No, you can stay winning here. This is we welcome. All lives are welcome here. And when I finally put myself back out there, I said I would do the coffee and everything. And it's been perfectly fine. And I've enjoyed it because it's really not about like how much someone spends. It's about the chance to get to talk to someone, get to know some things. And in the time it takes you to finish coffee, you can decide like, do I want to linger and act like I'm still drinking this coffee? Or can I just like book it and head out and say, I got somewhere to go. Also, one thing a guy did that I was like, now that was a subtle flex. This was many, many years ago. But I knew the check was coming. I've had one guy who went out of his way to let me know, like he picked the check up. Let's say this was the check when it came to the table, and he tapped it in the center of the table and said, now what are we going to do about this? Mind you, this is one of the worst dates. I could give y'all, this is not about me, but like we could have a whole episode on the top 10 worst dates I've had. This was our first date, this guy. And he did this at a happy hour date where we only like the total bill was $15. He insisted on going
really,
and he ate almost all the food off my plate. I was starving, and then I met him because I prepared his taxes.
My red flag.
So I knew he had money. I was like, wait, I did your taxes, sir. I know you. And so I was like, if we have to do something, then we can split these $15. Like, here's 10. And,
right.
And even the server looked at us like, she looked like, so that was one where it was like, red flag. Then the green flag, if you have one to like, oh, wait, here, I have a green flag that we can fly across. Not saying men have to do this, but I was like, that was subtle. It was this guy. We went to some restaurant, a nice restaurant for brunch. And after we finished eating, I kept sitting there thinking like the bill hasn't come, but I didn't want to be rude and say, we need to leave. He eventually, and then he said, are you ready to go? And I said, yeah, but we haven't paid. Like, are we dining and ditching? And, are you ready? And he said, oh no. Before we got here, he either said he called and put his card on file, or like he conveniently went to the restroom at some point and said, this is for our table, and cashed out. And I never even saw the bill. I said, oh, now that was smooth. Not saying guys need to do that. Not trying to put that pressure out there. I'm just saying those are the very opposite extremes of the I am going to put this bill in front of you, make sure you see it, versus the you don't have to worry about this. I want to just take care of you tonight.
Oh man, okay. Right. That opens up then, like, on these dates, a lot of guys will say, well, what do you bring to the table then? And I always thought about it as a sidebar. It was like I would never ask that because I didn't have anything to bring to the table. I had legs to put on the table. Like, what you need? I was like, because my first date, it was like you go to the park and walk around. That was free. Like, so I'm here for the free stuff. You know, if it was a coupon or Groupon or something. But.
Well, you know, I think social media has really put a crutch on dating, right? Has really taken the simplicity out of dating and really made it that we have to go to these 5-star restaurants to really be on top, to not even, you don't even know the individual to even say that if it's quote unquote, even if it's worth to be with this individual, not to say the person is worthy, but social media has really put this big crush and put this facade that, hey, we must do this. The simplicity is the best because this is where you get to know the individual, going to the park, going to the coffee. I remember listening to this panel and the guy says, you know, if I got to take you to a coffee, that if I got to take you on a coffee, then I guess I'm not worthy. You're not worthy or something like that. And of course, everybody has answers. Everybody has some type of, you know, they have everything, which guy got the second date.
You know, for a friend.
That's a fair question.
Yeah. You want to answer? Go ahead, Jay.
I'm putting it in the comments.
Oh.
I want to interrupt you, Joy. I like the flow you had. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
But I'll put it in the comments.
Oh, no, you're good. It was just to bounce off with Anthony. You know, it's just, I think social media is really a strong player in this, where it's really just taking the simplicity out of a simple relationship. People think they have to, and that's where it goes back, who should pay, you know, where, you know, now you have these people who just, I'm not men per se, because I'm heterosexual. No offense to, you know, to my alphabet people, but it's really just, hey, no, they want to feel like they want to sit on the same throne. And it's not that, you know, it's like, why can't we just go out and enjoy? It's okay. I mean, but like Free said, hey, I'm gonna make sure I'm taken care of. So if you want to go left, you could play the fool if you want to. You could end up viral by yourself. I'm out the door. But again, you know, it's really just taking social media has taken the simplicity out of simple things that what relationship, going on a date is, what it looks like, just enjoy the individual. People don't talk. Like now, I know you all probably saw with Hallie and her boyfriend, I guess, whatever situationship, they broken up. It's like, come on. Did y'all even thought about being together? Here it is. It's like, now we made a baby. Now we're not together. It's almost like the norm. And you want us as people to accept that. So it's like really just going backwards.
Yeah. I think that it's based on the person. I don't feel any pressure to do any of those things. I'm definitely a do me type of person. And with each relationship, I don't need anybody to tell me what role is whose role. And I do it based off, like, we decide what we're going to do. But I agree with Jay, like, it's the 50-50 conversation. It's what are you bringing to the table? It's the first date. It's the, I'm trying to think of the top 5, just hot topics that are so controversial. And to me, honestly, it's just another way to divide.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time.
Yeah, I'll say if a guy asks me what I bring to the table on our first date, that lets me know that you are chronically online and you're probably tuned into some podcasts that I don't watch. And so we probably ain't compatible.
Joy, let's do it together.
Because my answer is going to be, I am the table, the legs, the chairs, the napkins, like all the things. And it's not from a perspective of like, oh, I'm just this independent woman, because I've had my personal evolution with that phrase as well. But it just lets me know that, like, we're not starting off from the same place intellectually and like our intentions and why we're having this first date. Personally,
I completely agree.
Yeah, if I had a red flag, I would be pointing it if a guy acts that. That is a big red flag. He's not ready for a relationship, because one of the biggest parts of falling in love is what can you do for the other person? Like, you should be thinking about what are you doing for the other person. But if he's me focused, he just seems like a selfish guy, and it's not going to go well in marriage or any type of long-term relationship. So that's just a big red flag. If a guy is, what are you going to do for me? He has the wrong attitude for falling in love and being in a relationship. So.
Yeah, we got a comment from Erica. She said, "I'm good with the ice cream dates." Like,
me too, Erica. Like,
hey, Erica.
I have a running joke on my YouTube channel that, like, I'm an ice cream connoisseur. So
Baby.
I like ice cream dates, coffees. I'm very adventurous. Like, let's go skydive. Like, I want to get to the point where I can observe you and understand like how you are in addition to the conversation. But I learn more through observation because you could tell me anything, but I want to be able to see how you are in certain scenarios and situations. So
Yeah. So what are some good places for dates then? You know, especially in 2024.
I think it depends on the person. It's a matter when you're having those initial conversations, you can find a little bit about each other and you'll pick something that will resonate with both of you all. You know, typically you have those get to know you conversations, you know, before you go out the first time. That's the perfect time to figure out, she likes museums. We can go to the museum. Or you know what I mean? Like something that relates to the people and not what society feels like you should go. Right.
Gotcha. Nobody else want
library. Oh, that's a good one.
Somebody said the library. All right. So, you know, because coming to like some of these adventure dates and stuff like that, do you feel like, I mean, obviously you get to know a little bit more about the person, but also how do they show up for the event? Because they know where they're going at versus like you go to a dinner date, they might look nice, you know, from waist up, but down bottom, the shoes ain't shoeing and the pants ain't tucking or something. You know, how do you gauge that as well? Like, did they really prepare? Did they go out, you know, the REI and get some hiking boots or something like that for the hike? Or did they go to Nike outlet to get some shorts for you? I mean, did they give you a water bottle when you show up? Like, would those things be a green flag for you? No adventure dates.
I think they would show their into it if they bring supplies and things for me for whatever activity we're doing. I feel like they put some thought and were being considerate of me. Yeah, because they could have showed up with nothing. Like, you ready?
Right.
I will say
that's a bonus. Like, if you got a good attitude, about it in terms of like you're excited to meet me, I'm excited to meet you. Like, I'm excited to get to know you, and the vibes is the same. Like, you show with water, okay, cool. So like, let's go have fun. Let's go do what we about to do. And because particularly when it comes to adventure stuff and like with a little bit of competition, because I'm not super competitive. So I oftentimes like to go on competitive dates to see like, are you going to let me win? Or are you going to try to like really win? Because I'm like, yeah, you got it. Like, I'm just not that forceful. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't like movie dates for a first date.
Yeah.
You can't talk on them. Yeah,
exactly. That's the point. You can't talk. So we just sitting in the movie.
I talk during movies. That would be bad for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure other people in the movie theater might have a problem with it.
Yeah, I like fun dates because it just puts you it's relaxing. You're not like all stiff. So any type of fun date is good. I saw the library. I don't know about that because you can't really talk in that one. And I actually like restaurant dates. I know some people are like, oh, that's too boring, but you get to talk to them and get to know them. And that's like one of the most important thing about dating is getting to know another person. And I like that you can do that in a restaurant. So anything fun and relaxing, because that's what we have to get people to do, is to relax and not be so like nervous. And those fun dates is a way to get people to relax.
Yeah. And before you even get to the dating, because Didi, I'm gonna lean into your strong suit here, which is setting up that online profile for these apps. So, you know, since you're like the queen of setting up these apps, can you give the people that are listening right now some kind of takeaways that they can kind of enhance their online presence for dating?
Yes, I love this topic.
Oh my God. So
what are the things? So the main things I say is, when we talk about pictures, dress your best. I know some women think, oh, you should see me in my natural environment or something. No, just like an interview, just look your best, have dresses, nice clothes, and then have a body shot and a face shot. So guys, they want to see your body. So they want to know what you really look like. Also have a face shot. Some of the profiles I looked at, one of the first things I saw was like, you're frowning, you look mean. So make sure your pictures are smiling. Make sure you look nice and friendly, so guys would want to pick you. And the biggest mistake I'm seeing in a bio is that they're too negative. Like, they would start up, I don't want any guy who does this. I don't want any guy who does that. Use your filters instead of putting those words, because you just seem like a negative person. So a lot of no smoking, no short guys, no none of this. And that just turns guys off. But when you're talking in a positive way, this is who I am and this is what I'm looking for, the things you want, instead of I don't want this, I don't. That makes a profile better. And the women who, once I changed their profile from the no smoker, no this, and I changed it to a more positive one, they're getting way more quality matches. So that's the biggest mistake I'm seeing when I see people's profiles.
Wow. Well, thank you for that one. Because, I hear that a lot of people trying to utilize these platforms. I could tell you that I was negative on my Tinder profile.
I was going to say Erica comment is clutch.
Which Erica say?
Erica comment is very important.
This one?
I can't tell you how many men that got their high school football picture on their profile. So you are 50. That is
make sure you're present.
That is not you. I don't know who that man is, but it is not you anymore.
Yes, make sure the pictures are current. That's a big one. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But dating apps aren't dating apps anymore. It's so they become more of a business. People are soliciting, they're asking for things. You're genuinely going on there trying to, hopefully you could find that mate, or hopefully that mate find you. But in reality, this person is an entrepreneur hoping that they could find some type of call girl or, quote unquote trafficking. They set it up very nice. That's the catch, right? Right. And it's really, you're not on here for that.
Some people are not. Agreed.
But that's what it's turning over. And now apps are making people pay, because with the intent of paying, you would think you would get quality people, right? But entail people just pay hoping that they can find more in a certain area outside of dating. So me personally, I am not the person for the app. So the dating apps to me is completely it's gone bonkers. And nowadays, and excuse me, I'm not a cursor, but I guess I just want to call it the FBC, the Fuckboy Coalition. It's like they really trying to find. When you are a woman, you know what you have. You know what you already have. And I'm not saying, hey, I'm up here looking for a benzo, whatever. Not as I am, but hey, at least let us come equal. I'm not trying to get over on you, and I'm hoping that you're not trying to get over on me. And a lot of men, I'm not saying this all, but a lot of men are on there hoping that they could find their scapegoat. They're trying to see if they could stay with someone, seeing, hey, how can I get this and get there? And then even to go back to what you were saying, Dee, about, people being negative, it's like, to me, I'm thinking it's in the reverse. I'm trying to cut all this bull out. I'm not trying to waste your time, and sometimes some people don't know how to transfer the words for the positive, right? I don't want nobody 4 feet. I don't want you fat. I know I'm a plus size girl. I don't want you big. I don't got no problems. I don't want you smoking. So I just don't want you wasting my time, because not everyone can afford a coach, right? So they just trying to go out there like, look, just bypass me with all that, And the apps will really have taken,
I agree with that. Be yourself, because
and it's just spiraling.
If you changing who you are just to get chose, then once you meet, you're not going to be the person that you presented yourself to be. You're going to be somebody different. So that was just a waste of both of your time.
Yeah.
Right.
Person, show yourself.
Yeah, definitely be yourself. About the you want to put the no and stuff, but my clients say the exact same thing. No, I need to put the no smoking. I need to. And then when I switch it up for them, they're like, oh, wow, I'm getting really quality, because they don't realize how much that negative stuff is just like, even like, let me give you an example. Like, and I think, Anthony, I'm telling on you. So if you like no woman with a wig, and even if you don't have a wig, you're going to be like,
I just told Anthony I got a wig today.
You sure did.
So
your mind is. To me, that tells me where your mind is.
Exactly.
So that tells me I don't want to talk to you.
Even if you don't have, it just like deters, you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that person. But anyway, Anthony, do you want to tell your story?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm calling you out. But
thank you. So on my profile, my Tinder profile, when I had it, I said like no wigs, little to no makeup. I said no kids. I said, what else I put on there? And I had some other things. So it was like just weird. And then I got a lot of hate messages, of course. And I'm like, well, you could have just kept moving, like just kept swiping. You took the time out to respond to my message.
Please,
like,
I beg, please.
But you didn't say that your wife didn't read it, and that's the only reason you still.
That's all the reason why. Yeah. My wife did not read it.
I beg, please.
I was going to ask that because your wife is
Okay,
gorgeous.
you got it, Jay.
How old were you when you made these posts?
Oh, let's see. I was 33, fresh on the market around that time frame.
Okay. And I know this is like putting you in the hot seat. Anthony knows love is
It's
like,
wet.
I'm not trying.
I got
I'm
you.
not trying.
I got
Right.
you.
Like, I am not trying to call you out, especially on your own show. Happy you get here. What made you think something was wrong with makeup or wigs or anything? Like I'm saying that because I'm pointing to, I attempted to do some makeup today. So what made you think that was an issue? And this is a safe space. Whatever you say, I'm not gonna be like,
no, it's a safe space, but also it's on the
No, I'm just joking.
It's on the internet too. It's cool. But y'all got the red flags ready. You know what?
I'm gonna give you a pink flag.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
As y'all can tell, I like pink, but also just because I know who I've seen who you are now, so that's why I'm like guffaw. Like, so yeah. What made you think that like wigs, excessive makeup, nails? Like, what made you think that would be something you were not attracted to? Like, you had a bad experience. You were, hanging out with somebody and their wig knocked off, or like you woke up on an eyelash next to your pillow or something, and you thought it was a spider. Like, what were the situations that got you there? Where's the trauma coming from?
Where did trauma come from? It was my prior relationship. That's what it was, and it was just kind of seeing the amount of effort that was going into the look, and I was like, it's just me. Like, I don't look for all of this extra stuff. But then she was like, well, I do it for me, for herself. And I was like, it took me a while to understand that. But then I was like, when I got done with that relationship, I was like, I just don't want to deal with it at all. So, but, I have to get it that some people are different and some people like it. Some people don't. I mean, but to me, as I'm older now, you know me. It's like, I can chill with you all day. So it's cool.
Yes. Okay. See, and that's the maturation. It's the same way I didn't want to do coffee dates. I'm like, if he takes me on a coffee date, he's not the man for me, because the PTSD I had and the fact that it had nothing to do with that guy. And as you said, he might, in your case, she was doing all of that for herself. And let's be real, at some point you liked it because you initially saw her. She had all of that on. You stuck around.
That's true.
When the guy asked me on a coffee date, he wasn't saying like, I want to make you think about work all the time. I'm trying to pull on your triggers. He didn't even know that about me. I wasn't giving him a chance to know that about me. I was holding in the trauma I had. I also think it's, we mentioned social media before, that people have just these unrealistic expectations. Your pockets weren't agreeing.
They got a good name.
Right.
It really had nothing to do with money, because Starbucks drinks can run you a little something, depends on what you order. As social media just becomes like whatever, for whatever reason, the guide by which we say something's a healthy relationship or not. I think that there's this idea of like how someone should look and what dates we should go on, because you want to have it post worthy. And you could have a lot of really great pictures, but your relationship, your life, the trust, the communication, the respect for you have is in shambles, and there's no filter for that. And so you're sitting here trying to like force something to work off the strength of, I want it to look like something, and this is what I think should be. Like how women are like, he's got to be 6'3". Okay, girl, but you don't like to wear high heels. I'm like, you're 5'2", so like maybe it's okay if he's not 6'3". So it's just kind of like understanding that there's so much more that will make a relationship work beyond the appearance. And I think what people constantly circle back to is like they're trying to find a no as opposed to trying to find a yes. I am also very guilty of this. Again, not trying to give dating advice, just like advice on how to invite people. I'm very guilty of having to remind myself, do not take an easy exit out. Don't be like, oh, that one time he blinked 3 times in a minute. That was I don't like it. I'm out.
That used to be me. My cutoff game was so good.
Honest. Or it was like, it could be absolutely nothing wrong. There are a few things that I'm just going to say no to. I will say if they're missing that tooth on the side, I will find myself just staring at it because I'm just kind of like, So do we not have dental insurance, and are we not taking care of our health? Which means
Oh,
you take care of
my
yourself. Are you taking care of me? Because like, how are you gonna bring a family into this when you can't even handle your own dead bones coming out your gums?
Right.
But again, things you have to just like. I might just look at it. Unfortunately, I haven't had that. I think people tend to be getting their teeth nowadays fixed, so there's not that breeze going through the side. Y'all know what that one tooth is.
I know you're talking about.
It to be missing in people's mouths.
I know what you're talking about.
I always keep my dental records available. I asked the dentist for my own mold, fun stuff. But anyway, back to the topic. Where do you actually get your dating advice? I'm gonna harp on you, Rayma, for this one because you got a couple little ones out there, and you providing them some dating advice, showing them good examples. Where did you get your examples from?
I probably got my examples from a whole lot of what not to do.
Right.
So I think it's really important to date your values. So values are the things that are going to underpin your decision making. So in leadership coaching, surprisingly, the personal life stuff still comes up. That's why I say personal and leadership coach. Like it's that holistic thing. And so in my coaching practice, I do come across people sharing stuff that's going on with their dating, maybe marital problems, right? Just different stuff that come up. And so typically I'm asking, well, what information do you need to make a decision, right? I don't necessarily tell people what to do. If somebody asks me, then I'll caveat it and say, well, I'm coming from the perspective of that. Like I am I would say like a historical Christian, right? And so, you're going to hear something a little bit different when it comes to restrictions in dating. That being said, for my kids, I don't want my kids to ask somebody else what they bring to the table, but I'm going to. And really that's a question that I reserve for women, because what I'm finding is with my mid-20s, which is about the youngest of my coaching clients are mid-20s, so like 25, 26. They're operating from the perspective that they don't have to do anything, right? It's like the guy this, the guy that. And so I just out of curiosity, like, what is it that you bring to the table? And it is a really offensive question. I met this young woman, not a client of mine, but she was like Instagram pretty, like looked like she's filtered, but she's not, wearing the little shorts with the ruching up the behind. And so for some marketplace, that don't come, I don't want my kids bringing that home, but like for somewhere else, you're kind of stereotypical pretty. And I asked her that, she's like, all this. And she was kind of joking, but like what was clear to me is that she hadn't reflected on that. Now, I'm not saying that these women don't have anything to bring to the table. I'm just saying that you should, to Dee Dee's point earlier, talking about men asking that same question, to reflect on that and being, what is it that I'm going to bring to the table? What am I, I'm a great partner in this way. I can support you doing this. I want for my kids to first understand who they are before, I want them to have outward expressions of who they are, not putting on things from other people. And so again, being grounded in their values. Because again, like learning from what not to do, right? I've been in a relationship before where, really, crushed my spirit and my confidence. And I don't want for my kids to go through that same thing. And then as far as like the rest is like, it's like, how do you guys interact with each other? For initial dating, like the initial dates, like I can't really speak to that, but as far as being in a relationship, how do you navigate conflict? What is your desired outcome? If you're having maybe a contentious conversation, what is your, when you walk away from the end of that conversation, what do you want to achieve? And having that end in mind will help filter what you say in that conversation. Do you want to win? Or do you want to be happy at the end? And so those are some things that come to mind for thoughts around dating.
Got you. Thank you for that one. Because, I mean, we all got to learn from somebody. I think it was not John Mayer. What was it? One of those songs. I'm bad with songs. Neil, I'm bad with songs. I ain't going to try it.
I'm doing lyrically.
We're just ordinary people.
Yeah. Not ordinary people. No, he was like, fathers learn from your daughters.
That's John Mayer.
John Mayer, okay.
That's what you said.
But you said John Mayer.
He said John Mayer.
You're right. I definitely heard John Legend.
Oh.
And you know what?
John Mayer.
If I could, I'd put myself in my corner.
You put that red
Just
flag.
right, I'm gonna say red flag for poor listening skills. Poor listening skills. So I would put myself in timeout over there. I'm gonna just put on mute and John Mayer's a great song though. That song will have you in your feelings, especially when it gets to the bridge.
It does. And that's why I said I can't remember the song, but it gets to that. It's giving me those vibes. So free, you know. When it comes to the dating pool, how do you feel about, you know, single fathers?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. So I personally don't have any kids. I'm in my mid-30s, and I have dated and will date a gentleman that has 2 is my max. And oftentimes in social media, we talk about the number, but what's most important to me is that, one, the relationship that he has with the kids. Because if you are a present father, that goes a long way with me. And not just present from the perspective of like, oh, I'm paying child support. That ain't enough for me. And I'm not even a mama. So like, are you showing up to games? Do you have an act, like, do you play an active role in their life? Because that is important. Because should we have, you know, kids and blend the family, I want to know that you have a track record of activeness, right? And then what's also really important is the relationship that you have with their mother. So I'll give you a quick story. So I went to lunch. This wasn't a date. I just so happened to meet the gentleman while I was treating myself to a solo lunch one day. And we got to talking, and he mentioned that he had a daughter who was around 8 years old. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he proceeded to say like he couldn't stand his child's mother. She like made him sick and was just disparaging her. And I was like, do you talk about your mother that way? Right. And it kind of caught him off guard because up until that point, the conversation was flowing. But for me, that was like mentally. And I guess he thought that I was gonna like, oh yeah, and I'm like, no, sweetie. So you know, that conversation didn't go much further, but those are kind of the 2 things that I look at. And then also what's kind of helpful for me is to understand the age. Because if your child is 2 months, it's gonna be a no, right? So yeah.
The saying, if the baby's under 2, y'all ain't through.
For me, for me, my daughter's 23, so I don't want them to be under 5. My daughter is grown. I'm not looking to start over. If we're looking to get in a relationship, your children are a package deal. Because same thing, if you're not active in your children's lives or have a positive impact in their life, we can't date. There's nothing we can do. But that's going to be a point for me in the relationship because, like I said, I'm an empty nester. So that's something I have to consider. It's young, like you said, under 2, they're not through. And just things that a child needs at that age, homework, pickup, hairstyles. If I'm taking on this relationship with you, this means I'm going to be doing hair. You know what I mean? If we're talking about getting together and we dating for a long term. So those are things that I have to consider. Do I want to do that? And I don't.
I think this is a great question, Anthony. So I will share. I swore after getting divorced that I was going to marry for money, and instead I married a soldier with 4 kids. And so I had 1 child from previous marriage. He had 4, so now the 4th of those ones just finished high school. Mine that I came into the marriage with is now in high school, and then we have a surprise baby who's 7. So a huge age range for the kids. But going back to how they how the dads interact with their kids and how they are about their kids. And I will tell you that same care extends to me. And so I know that I am a better mother being with my husband than I was before he and I got married. He's also, like I'm a bonus mom. He's a bonus dad. Fortunately, for all the kids have their other parents and all of that. So, we're in a good situation there. But it's tough when you talk about what kind of filters you're going to put in place. And that's why I say, going back to dating values, because you may find yourself dating somebody that is unexpected. But then, I'll tell you all, I went he married a career woman. I went part-time last year, and I have an exit strategy from the workforce. I told my husband 2 years ago, I'm like, I don't want to work anymore, and I don't want to have any responsibilities for providing for the household. And he was kind of like, okay. And we partnered together to be able to make that happen. And it'll take about 4 years to be able to make that happen. But for somebody else, they would have filtered him out because he is not 6 foot tall, right? And he has 4 kids. And man, I am so incredibly blessed. I have a wonderful husband who, and I'm really spoiled. I don't know what I would do if something happens to him. Dee Dee, there's probably no hope for me. I'll just.
You can talk about his cooking if you want to. I mean, you can talk about his cooking if you want to. It's all right. We know.
He cooks. He does my meal prep. Y'all, he's happy. So I don't know. You'll have to ask him about it. But I am super spoiled. The point is dating your values. And being mindful of some of these other things. Now, if you're somebody who has decided that you don't want to have kids or however you want to set your boundaries, that is perfectly fine. I am not, don't hear what I'm not saying, right? I am not shaming that. Again, that could be just part of, where you are in your life, that you don't want the responsibility of being a parent when that's not your child. It is a responsibility. And Free, to your point, you are all coming into, you have to take it all. Anthony, so maybe something for us to talk about later is, maybe how you do family dates or something like that, because that was also that was a key thing in our dating relationship. So talking about dates, I'm like, we had very few before, then we were looking at integrating the family, so.
But yeah, you make a good point. Me personally, I'm that person. I don't plan on having any more children. I've made sure that I'm not going to have any more children, so I know it will be no surprise babies for me. And so that's why that's a strong consideration for me.
So what I believe, I'm going to talk about dating apps again, because I love dating apps, that you can be picky on a dating app. So if you don't want a guy with a kid under 2, then you don't have to. There are so many men out there. I know some people think dating apps are over, they suck or whatever, but you really can be picky. And so when the women that I work with, if they're like, I don't want a guy with kids, then go ahead and click filter out the guy with kids. But you can be as picky as you want, and it's okay. It's whatever your preference is. When I met my husband, I put no kids, and he didn't have any kids. I put no kids, never married before, and he popped up. So,
all right.
And height filters too, right?
Does height matter? Does height matter?
Yeah, you can put negative. Yeah, you can put negative filters. That's where I recommend you filter it, is there, not on your bio. But filter as much as you want. That's how I met my husband.
So does height matter though?
Yes, for me.
Okay.
We're talking about height.
Okay. Height. Yeah.
I know we had another question. I put over 6 foot. I'm 5'10", and I wanted a tall man.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, height does matter. I want you to be my height or taller.
Yeah.
Because me looking down, my future's up. It's forward.
For me, height matters, but you don't have to be super tall. But I wouldn't want someone I'm 5'4", so just to give it in perspective. So I would need them to be close to me. I'm okay with looking at you directly. Yeah.
Equal or greater.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am with Nia. I'm 5'4". On a good day, my doctor will write down that I'm 5'5" because she knows it boosts my confidence. And I'm if you're 5'7" ish, I would ideally 5'8" or above, because I wear heels. And
With
just
her.
like I find myself sometimes looking at that missing tooth, I'll find myself just looking at the crown of the head. Like,
Yeah.
I can see it. And I don't know why, but I can see it. And it doesn't matter at all. What we, as was explained to me, we think that someone that's taller is genetically more inclined to be healthier. And so you're thinking like, you're just thinking this person is going to be around and they're going to have good health because for whatever reason, genetics say, if you're taller, you can do better. Also, it's something that comes up in jobs too. So somewhere I read that it was like over 95% of CEOs are over 6 feet. And it's just the thing that's out there. But those are stereotypes that can be broken. So, I mean, I've heard stereotypes about being, shorter, about being Black, about being a woman, and they're not true. So I agree with having your preference. That is exactly what you should do. But I'm just saying we shouldn't blame someone if they do have that preference because it comes from what's kind of just trained and you have to work through what matters to you. Oh, and thank you, Ash.
Yeah, you got some shout outs.
Thank you. This is a game time decision because I definitely had on a white shirt. And I said I look very thugnificent right now. So I got rid of the chains and pulled on a pink shirt that required no ironing.
All right. So
I wanted to clarify my answer real quick. So I said yes for me. That mattered for me, but
Right.
there's plenty of the women that I coach are like, oh, I don't care about the height. And that's good. For me, that was important. It was because of I just wanted to walk around with someone taller than me. But it really does not matter. If I met a really, really good guy who's just like my husband, but a little shorter, I was gonna say that. I would've-
We didn't think you were saying like short guys, short kings.
No, Anthony, everybody. It matters to me. It matters. I'm just asking the good Lord, don't let me throw them away. Please don't let me throw
just pick them up.
I know. Very detailed in my prayers, dear God. But please, it matters to me. It matters.
I've definitely dated. So I'm 5'5". The shortest I've dated is 5'4". However, as a bodybuilder, the guys that were shorter were also very muscular, and so there were different areas of compatibility in that sense. So it's been decades since I was really dating, but I did date a lot of other bodybuilders. So.
May I add one more thing to this? Short men sometimes, I say it's not a red flag. It's something that I will look for. Short men sometimes, not always, short kings, don't come at me in these comments. They can sometimes have a Napoleon complex, and that is the actual turnoff.
Yes.
Not the height.
Complete turn
They
off.
like need to conquer and control everything, and that is it's similar to like sometimes men who are extremely good looking for no reason, and like they'll call out weird stuff about it, like, oh, your bangs aren't even, or like they'll take 2 times.
Not the bangs.
Like that's just an odd situation. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being extremely good looking, Mr. Model, but like. How this shows up in your personality is the red flag.
Hey, Renee.
Hey, Renee's up in here.
Hey, girl, yeah.
Right. Good. Shout out to the FinCom family. Yeah.
So can I address some of the comments?
Oh yeah, let's go. I can put them up. Which one you want?
So first he asked what muscle. He asked that question.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Right. And then he said 6 figures, 6 feet. That's what'd he say?
Yeah, 6 feet and 6 figures equals.
And I say
divide and protect.
That's a lie. 6 figures is nothing nowadays. That does not equal provide no more. Maybe back in the day, but that does not equal
way back in the day.
And your 6 figures doesn't equate to my 6 figures just because
that part.
Yeah.
Especially without a budget, you know you need. You
That's my favorite word.
budget.
I'm probably I don't know if I'm with the right group of people, but again, for my kids, I'm less concerned with how much their partners make than I am about how they steward what they make. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. We say,
right.
But my husband's going to retire me.
All right, since it's getting to that dark time, I want to go on and keep it spicy. That's the last question. Let me share my screen here to kind of kick off the conversation.
I'm so sorry, but that last comment.
Look, I read it. And
I
I was
read
like,
it. Let me read that. Let me read it.
Them short men who have a Napoleon complex, they do be having stubby fingers.
Did I miss the stubby fingers? Oh,
Erica said it.
Oh, Erica.
Yes.
Okay.
She's not lying about that. They do be having those stubby fingers. It is. I don't know what it is, but until she said that, I didn't think about that. But very true.
Y'all hilarious. I don't look at other guys' fingers. I'm learning from y'all.
My experiences.
All right, let me know if y'all can hear this because I've been working on myself. Y'all watch Sex and the City, right? Please tell me yes.
all seasons in the new series.
I know, right? It's so good. So anyway, it's from season 1. So
Samantha to the ladies' room to
let me
get the
know if y'all
lowdown
can hear
on her
that.
love life with James. Here you are. We've been looking for you everywhere. So, how is everything?
She means have you and James done it yet?
Mm-hmm. And? It's nice. I'm so happy for you. Sweetie, what? What is it?
Nothing.
The acting.
Hey, what's going on? Why are you crying?
James has a small dick.
Oh, well, it's not the end of the world.
It's really small.
How small?
Too small.
Well, size isn't everything.
3 inches.
Well,
Hard.
is he a good kisser?
Oh, who the fuck cares? His dick is like a gherkin. I feel so terrible. Listen to me. I'm a bad person.
Don't beat yourself up. You had certain expectations and you're disappointed.
Why? Why does he have to have a small dick? I really like him.
I thought you loved him.
Well,
Oh, look, we've all been there. That's for sure. I was once with a guy the size of one of those little miniature golf pencils. Couldn't tell if he was trying to fuck me or erase me. I'm sorry. It's funny. Let's not lose perspective. There are ways to work around this.
but I don't want to work around it. I love a big dick. I love it inside of me. I love looking at it. I love everything about it. When I blow him, it's like nothing. Nothing.
Can you talk to him about it?
No. It's the only thing we can't talk about. What am I going to do?
How is he with his tongue?
All right. So with that,
Anthony,
yes.
why'd you do that to me?
Okay. Oh, the kids came in.
Touch my pearls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Okay. But I figured, if we talk about house sizes and all that stuff like that, does that really matter to consider if it's going to go any further than obviously the 3rd date rule? If you guys have your rules, does that matter to continue on the conversation? Okay.
Take your values.
Anthony, you want us on video in perpetuity
Oh,
talking about this?
okay. All right. Well,
Bring
okay.
Ash Cash up. They said they'll answer for the room.
You say answer. Okay. So he said,
Mark,
yes.
help us out.
Hey, look, y'all can take phone calls. Y'all can call in if y'all.
He
got
said play the
something to say.
cricket sound.
Right.
He said play the cricket sound.
Sure.
Right. What's up, the finance rebel?
Hey,
Hello.
Kamari.
Kamari, yeah, because I yelled at Kamari. I was like, yo, thanks for leaving me hanging. It's like, that's cool though.
What
He
I
said
would
you got your response.
Right.
for my for my 14-year-old, we have not talked about this specifically, but she has heard probably more detail than she would care to, but that her virtue matters, And it's a beautiful thing to preserve for her future husband and to have him in mind, because she's going to want to, and it's natural for her to want to. Right now, she's still kind of grossed out by it, but as a 14-year-old, like, your body is designed to want to, and that's okay. But the optimal is for you to choose not to. And then we're praying that your future husband is also waiting for you. And then if you don't engage before marriage, then it wouldn't matter. Something to keep in mind too is that if you have more than 5 partners, women, that can impact your ability to pair bond. And so there are long-term psychological consequences of choosing to engage in the behaviors just because women can do whatever men can do. I will add on to that, from a Christian worldview, that 100%, God can restore your virtue. I don't mean your physical body, but certainly your ability to bond with your potential husband. So with your future husband. So it's not like, all doom and gloom, but there are consequences to these choices. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you for being brave to take that one on. So, well, I guess this is coming to the last part of the show. I do want to first thank you all for coming on to this lovely panel. Please give a round of applause to yourselves. And then I do want to give a round of applause to everybody for for showing up today. Thank you guys, the audience. You guys have been great. Let's give a shout out to all the folks. Let's see, we got Dr. Sev, great person. I think we met her a couple of times at FinCon. Ash Cash with Mark. I don't think I've probably met in person. I can't bring a face right now. Shout out to Erica. We got Hugo. Kamari, thanks for coming through. Definitely gotta check his show if you haven't already. Who else we had up in here? We had Lisa J. Stocks, who talks about stocks a lot. And
Renee.
We have Renee, and then also Paula. Paula was in here with Talk S with Paula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's big in the podcasting arena. She's like all over the place. So do you want to say that? Thanks, everybody. And before we go, definitely got to let everybody know where you guys are from, how they can keep in touch. Who wants to go first? Oh, it looks like it's free.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And you can find me on YouTube at Gage Street Society. Again, it's your financial safe space, talking about all things money and you.
Awesome.
Take your ass to bed.
It's time for me to go to bed, you guys.
Okay.
I'll play some outro music so we can what this is.
Oh, you want to be at FinCon? I remember her.
Huh? All right. So next, let's see. We got Joy.
Where you all can find me at Coffee with Joy. Again, I'm a talk show podcast where we normalize the difficult conversation. We talk about everything. So if you'd love to be a guest, please make sure that you DM or you can email us at the Coffee with Joy show.
Awesome. See. There we go. Rayma.
Rayma Carpenter. You can find me on Instagram at Mohawks and Pearls. You can shoot me an email, Rayma at mohawksandpearls.com. I am a personal and leadership coach, so we talk about all the things in your professional and personal life and make sure that your goals are aligned with your values.
All right. Thank you, Kamari, for letting me know the sound was too high. Sorry about that. Jay, get you your air horns as your outro as well, as always.
Thank you all. I enjoyed this panel with you all. You have really great advice and perspective. So thanks for letting me be part of it. I am Jay Stevens. You can find me on Instagrams at Rich Like My Melanin, and then my website RLMM, which is the acronym of Rich Like My Melanin, RLMMfinancial.com.
All right. Thank you. Dee Dee.
So the best place to find me is on Facebook. if you do a search for love and dating secrets, I pop right up. And I do like a Monday live every Monday, a lot of good information. And if you want to find me on Instagram, Dee Patterson with a 0 instead of O, because someone took the O. So that's where you can find me.
All right. Last but not least, Nia.
I'm Nia Adams, the Money Moves Motivator. You can find me right here on YouTube at Money Perspectives. I'm the executive founder of Perspectives, a financial education brand. And I drop a video every Tuesday.
You're an author.
I'm an author, a speaker, a consultant. I do a lot of things.
Yes, a lot of things. All right, everybody. I want to just thank you all so much for this. This has been an awesome opportunity. Ladies, if you don't mind holding on once I play the outro, just want to say thank you again. And thank you, everybody. And please, if you haven't already, leave some comments. And I look forward to actually having more panels like this. So let us know if this is something that you guys would like to see more of. I can bring on more people. Hopefully, I will not be the only guy this time around to talk about dating and having this fun time by myself. All right. Thank you all. Have a good one. We out. Peace. Hold on.